You guys like Minecraft? How about killing bugs? So let's talk about it. Deep Rock Galactic is a cooperative first-person shooter video game developed by Danish studio Ghost Ship Games and published by Coffee Stain Publishing. It's currently out on PC, Xbox family of consoles, PS4, and PS5. This review is based on the PS5 version of its game, sponsored by Sony via PS Plus. Players work together while exploring destructible, predictably generated cave systems, and the game focuses on PvE combat, meaning there's no benefit to killing other players. Players take on the roles of 4 space dwarfs assigned to various missions, which include many objectives such as mining specific minerals, stealing alien eggs, eliminating targets, or retrieving lost equipment. They are usually the main objectives required to complete these missions. It is also possible to complete a secondary objective, usually collecting other materials or items to receive extra credits, which are used to improve the player's weapons and abilities of the classes, and experience points, which increases players' levels. The game takes place underground on Hoxus IV, which is a dangerous planet full of minerals, biomes, and bugs. Missions take place in large caverns and tunnels with varying terrain generation, objections, and enemies depending on the biome and mission type. Players fight insect-like aliens as they attempt to complete the mission objectives and collect materials for crafting. There are 4 playable classes to choose from, which are the Engineer, the Gunner, the Driller, and the Scout. Each class has their own experience level, accessories, and promotion level, with the player's progression shown as their player rank. Once a player has reached level 25 on a class, they are offered a promotion. After completing an assignment, a specific set of missions, resetting their class levels, and unlocking endgame content, a player can do multiple promotions with the same class. However, only the first one has any gameplay benefit. Players can choose their class while in the lobby by using the character selection, loadout selection, or cosmetic terminals inside of any of the player's bays while joining on these missions. Each of the 4 playable classes has 3 primary and 2 secondary weapon options. Initially, only 1 primary weapon and 1 secondary weapon is offered to the player, with the other weapons options unlocking as the player progresses through the game. Weapons can be upgraded by choosing a weapon upgrade at specific levels. Weapons can also be overclocked. Some overclocks add a small benefit with no downside, some have balanced upsides and downsides, and others often show a huge upside with a significant penalty. The Engineer uses a shotgun as his primary weapon and grenade launcher as his secondary weapon by default. His primary can be replaced with an electrical submachine gun or a smart rifle which locks onto his opponents. His secondary can be replaced with a plasma gun which fires horizontal plasma beams. To support his team, the Engineer has a platform gun that fires circular platforms and a deployable sentry gun that automatically targets enemies. The Gunner uses a minigun as his primary weapon and high-caliber revolver as his secondary. There can later be replaced with the high-caliber autocannon, a guided missile launcher, and a rapid-fire pistol. To support his team, the Gunner uses a zipline gun that fires anchored ziplines and a deployable shield generator that creates a protective shield bubble. The Gunner's shield bubble causes enemies to retreat from its area of effect while also blocking all projectile attacks. The Driller uses a flamethrower as his primary weapon and a semi-automatic pistol as his secondary. His primary can later be replaced with a freeze cannon or a launcher that fires cohesive sludge, while his secondary can be replaced with a plasma pistol. The Driller uses handgun power drills as his utility tool, which can also be used to dig through terrain at a much faster rate than the regular pickaxe, as his deployable tool. The driller also has a satchel charge that carves out a large portion of terrain or kills enemies in its blast. Caution is advised, however, as the blast may also harm nearby teammates in addition to the driller himself. The Scout uses an assault rifle as his primary weapon and a double-barrel sawed-off shotgun as his secondary. These can later be replaced with a semi-automatic rifle based on the M1 Garand and a plasma rifle with the high rate of fire. The Scout can also unlock a pair of machine pistols, which he dual wields. The Scout uses a grappling gun as his utility tool, which enables him to navigate caves and to escape from danger quickly. He also uses a flare gun to deploy high-intensity flares that are brighter and cover a larger area than the standard flares used by every class. The standard grenade for the Scout is the IFG Inhibinator Field Generator, which slows down enemies in the affected area. With that all being said, let's just get into my thoughts about the game. Firstly, my time with Deep Rock Galactic was not as long as I anticipated because after some time I realized that the game doesn't appeal to me by a long shot. However, despite that lack of appeal, it doesn't make Deep Rock Galactic a bad game. It just means I'm not in its core audience. The game has a repetitive gameplay loop of diving in caves, mining materials, using said material to get stronger by repeating the cycle. It is done by many games of this nature, however in this specific game, I just can't get too deeply involved. I love the polish this game has. It's beautifully crafted with the style of art, almost similar to Borderlands. The FPS never stutter or drop a frame, and it looks pretty damn gorgeous on the PS5 in upgraded 4K HDR. I never experienced a crash or glitch during my playthrough, and I will say it is an extremely small file size download, which in this day and age of about 50 to 100 gigabytes of data is a huge accomplishment, so kudos to the dev team. Also, this dev team is extremely generous. At my first login, they revealed a free season battle pass with extra skins and a bunch of goodies to help you get started diving in this game. However, because the game doesn't appeal to me, I just didn't dive much into it to grind all those out. I do believe it's truly a fair experience for people that like this game, and I believe that the devs are being super generous here. Killing the bugs and teaming up with others will probably make this game a much more enjoyable experience than running solo or random pugs that wouldn't communicate via headset microphone. The game has tons of replayability, but for me it's just not enjoyable replayability, as it's just kinda too boring and monotone, and I'm just kinda going through the motions again and again. We here at NGI give Deep Rock Galactic a 9 out of 10. Make sure you stay up to date with all the latest in gaming tech news and reviews. Smash that like, and as always, subscribe. God bless and peace.